Herzlich willkommen zum Podcast Checkpoint Reserve. In dieser Ausgabe präsentiere ich Ihnen ein Interview mit dem estnischen Sicherheitsexperten Erkki Koort. Erkki Koort ist Head of Internal Security Institute an der Estonian Academy of Security Sciences. An dieser Akademie hat er selbst seinen Abschluss gemacht und hat anschließend im Estonian Internal Security Service und im estnischen Innenministerium gearbeitet. Koort ist ausgewiesener Sicherheitsexperte und arbeitet auch als Sicherheits-Analyst für die Tageszeitung Postimees. In dieser Tageszeitung ist vor kurzem ein Artikel mit der Überschrift "In fact, Moskaus next target is Germany" erschienen. Darin geht es um Hybrid Warfare, hybride Maßnahmen und darum, dass Deutschland immer stärker ins Visier russischer geheimdienstlicher Aktivitäten gerät. Über dieses Thema habe ich mich mit Erkki Koort unterhalten. Erkki Koort ist übrigens auch Buchautor. Er hat 3 Romane über mittelalterliche Themen geschrieben und einen Roman über ein Spionagethema in den 90er Jahren. Und er ist darüber hinaus bemüht, diese Bücher auch in englischer oder deutscher Übersetzung übersetzen zu lassen. Aber jetzt für diesen Podcast habe ich mich mit ihm über das Thema Hybrid Warfare unterhalten und das Interview habe ich in englischer Sprache geführt. Viel Spaß beim Zuhören.
Can you also tell us a little bit more about your position at the Estonian Academy of Security Science and actually head of Internal Security Institute?
Yeah, actually, Academy of Security Sciences picture of it is in my back right now. It was created in 1992. I'm the graduate of this school. I graduated the police faculty in this school. Actually, in Estonian Academy of Security Sciences, we have a 5 academic structure. Police and Border Guard College, Prison Guard College, Finance, that means Customs and Tax College, and Rescue College. And I'm the head of Internal Security Institute. We give master degrees, and also we make most of research work in the field of internal security. Plus, of course, we have teachers, and we have a European Migration Network. Estonian contact point is in my institute. And we have right now 3 master level curricula. One is internal security master. This is in Estonian language. One is integrated border management in a very good cooperation with 6 high schools all over the Europe, or high schools, universities all over the Europe, and plus Frontex, European Border and Customs Agency. Well, not customs, border guard and coast guard agency, and also we have a third curricula. It's the newest one, and this is countering hybrid threats. This is also in English. We have done. It's so new that actually students we will have from next year in this curricula. So all over the Europe, students can apply to learn in this curricula, and we created this curricula using the European Union money. And as I said, this is English version. Soon there will be out also learning materials of that course, what is altogether approximately 1,000 pages. So it's quite big big effort to the hybrid wars, understanding of hybrid warfare and hybrid attacks all over the Europe.
So we in Germany, we have also, I guess, a similar institutions. We have also academies, like universities. It's similar to universities, which are concentrated on police work and customs and so on. And I guess it's very interesting for those students to hear and to learn also that it's possible to study these topics in an international environment in Estonia. So I guess you have also exchange programs or
Yes, we do. Actually, this program was created with good partners from Lithuania and Croatia. Actually, we offered at the very beginning also the cooperation for a German police university as well. But I don't know, they didn't have time during that time. Later on, they were very interested, but we already had partners. But we have with the Münster Police University very good cooperation, and students from that school visit our academy, and our students visit Münster Police Academy, the Police University, per yearly basis.
so you mentioned this study program in hybrid warfare is very new. It is also a topic which is, I guess, since all the drone appearances and I don't know if you can call them attacks, but we have these drone appearances in Germany and in other European countries, and now we are starting to realize what it means that we are somehow under pressure. So, and it's also what you've written in your article. Um, so let's talk about hybrid warfare. But before we talk about the article, can you briefly describe this terminus, what does hybrid warfare means?
Yes, I can. Actually, there is several definitions about the hybrid warfare, and some of them are, let's say, more concrete, but all of them are naming different scenarios, different that kind of opportunities, how to disturb countries. Let's say hybrid warfares oftenly are counted as something. No, it's not like it's not really something like my one good friend says, nice and hairy, but it's not. Hybrid warfare. The idea of the hybrid warfare is to create situation that country will change its position in some questions, or will change leadership. So the aim of the hybrid warfare is to keep conflict or that kind of struggle under the NATO article of NATO fifth article, and oftenly this is a mistake that states do, that they count the hybrid threat is the military the task of the military, let's say, but mainly the task to counter the hybrid threats is task of internal security agencies, police, border guard, and different other agencies, and military is helping them to counter with it. But during the peacetime, the military actions can't be carried out in that kind of day-to-day manner. From attacker point of view, the aim of the hybrid attack is to prolong uncertainty for the victim. Let's say that the victim will understand what it is: peace or war. It's not war, but is it the peace? It's not the peace. So it's the prolonging uncertainty for the victim is also very important task for hybrid attacks from attacker point of view, and for the outsiders, for the partners, for the allies even. It is very convenient position to say it's not real war yet. So that action was like a terrorist activity. It was hybrid attack, but it isn't. We are not in a war yet. So it's very convenient position for the attacker, but it's the very same level as the terrorist attacks. Actually, it's the very often carried out by the military intelligence officers because they are trained for sabotage acts behind the enemy front lines. And what we have seen through these 4 years, Russian military intelligence and intelligence agencies are not have not been very successful to create sabotage acts in Ukraine, but they have been very successful to create sabotage acts in Europe. So in Germany, in Estonia, in Latvia, in Spain, so in different countries, and we will see more probably in this year.
Very, very interesting. This leads me to my one of my questions. For example, in Estonia, we remember the year 2007 when a Russian hacker attack disabled government internet homepages and so on. After this incident with this Soviet monument, I realized that these kind of security threats and the way how Estonians and also Latvians, for example, viewed Russia was very straight on. It was clear Russia is an adversary, whereas at the same time we have in Germany we have made business with Nord Stream, etc., pp, and we didn't really see the point. And then Crimea, the annexation of Crimea happened in 2014, and slowly the German army tried to refocus on NATO and defense, like home defense and etc. But it's still, I have the opinion we are still at the same, more or less at the same starting point. We are now a bit, let's say, a little bit more further in our discussions and in our realization what we have to do. But would you agree when I say basically we are now in Germany at the moment we should have been in 2014 or 15?
Mentally, even farther maybe. Let's say in 2007 when we had those cyber attacks and after that monument scandal, let's say if that case will happen right now, this monument case, we probably have had several explosions organized by the Russians. But in 2007, Putin wasn't so he didn't have so much courage to do that because Estonia was a member of the NATO already. Yes, we had only 3 years membership during 2000 till 2007. And if Georgian War have been before the Bronze Night, then probably our Bronze Night have had different outcomes or a different level of interference. But 2007 it wasn't the case. In 2008 with the Georgian War, Putin had much more courage. Problem was that French President Nicolas Sarkozy wanted to de-escalate very quickly, and he didn't care that much about Georgian interests. Right now, we know that this mediator Sarkozy have imprisoned in France. So his ideas and his that kind of way of thinking was quite nihilistic, we must say right now, because of the consequences. And all that gave a courage for a Putin. In 2014, when Crimea was occupied and annexed, then also we tried to convince all of our allies, and some of our allies said that you don't have evidences that those were Russians. Okay, who they were. In 2015 happened refugees crisis in Europe. Mostly Germany suffered because of that refugee crisis, and it happened after the Russian Federation started his interference in Syria. So after that, the new wave of the refugees came out from Syria. Turkey already was under the huge pressure from those refugees, and after that, those refugees just broke out. They went to the Austria, Germany, to the Sweden, and actually Russia got his important goal. Europe didn't talk much about Crimea after that because European focus was in refugee crisis. And remember when this Russia entered into the Syrian war, I was during that time a member of the European Union Internal Security Committee, COSI committee. And when I said that we can expect more refugees from Syria, I got from several colleagues, also from German and Austrian colleagues, that kind of small note that maybe it was too Russophobic. But we saw what happened later on. In 2022, when Russia started very huge war in Ukraine, the Bundeschancellor Scholz made his Zeitenwende speech in Bundestag. What was very good, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't definitely enough because mentality didn't support it actually. and the all the that kind of starting points, the ideas were very excellent, but in somehow it was stopped in political struggle and in a, let's say, you can't change way of thinking with one speech. It takes much more time. Germany has done a lot for Ukraine. It's definitely with weapons, with humanitarian aid. But if we look back in 2022 in January and in December 2021, Estonia decided to give Javelin rockets to the Ukraine. It was time when most countries didn't give lethal weapons. We gave javelins. We got the promise. We got the a promise or that kind of license to do that from United States. But we had also some old cannons that are what we got from Finland, but Finland got them from Germany. So to hand them over, we needed the license from Finland and from Germany. We got the license from Finland quite quickly. However, with the license from Germany, it was a huge problem. It was political problem. German political leadership was quite angry because they felt that they are put under the pressure. They didn't want to give that weaponry to the Ukraine because it was lethal. German policy was different that time, but from that time it have been quite a lot of change in Europe as well, because in 2000 and let's say in 2000 it was um, uh, it wasn't allowed to use, for example, EU funds to build a fence into the border. In 2002, we already was in the position that EU money was allowed to use to buy weapons to the Ukraine. So we have change have been tremendous, but this is not enough still, because when we look back, when was discussion that should EU countries give Leopard tanks to the Ukraine or not, it was something. Let's say I wrote the article also about that to and I addressed it into the German ambassador that we will look how you support Ukraine and what is your arguments. But believe me, Moscow looks it as well. And for them, this discussion or that kind of internal, no, it's not struggle, but the discussion was also very informative. And for them, it was sure that if we put the pressure into the Germany, maybe Germany will be much more that kind of not won't give so voluntarily or so quickly next weaponry. And actually, that a long discussion with should we give tanks or should we not give the tanks, give also for Russia precious time to dig them into the ground. So that was time when Surovikin defense lines were formed as well.
So would you say that first of all, the refugee crisis part of it that Russia engaged in Syria was also intentional, or in this respect that Russia knows that there are certain elements in German society, also overall in European society, that are very anti-migration, and there is this kind of connection, like tho- those guys like Alexander Dugin and buzzwords like gay Europe and anti-homosexuality and so on. There is this connection, and plus this kind of trigger point for bringing refugees to Europe. And there is more, like you've mentioned, that Russia intentionally tries to divide the society on several issues. So is this also already part of information warfare or hybrid warfare?
Yes, it is. Actually, Russia uses it quite in quite professional way. And for example, yesterday I went to the Estonian Academy of Arts to give one lecture. And when I prepared that lecture, I looked one picture about influence activities that Russian Federation carrying out. And I found one picture of one Russian propagandist that was in very that kind of threatening manner. And I looked actually our picture, what is that kind of softer and that kind of from different angle. And I looked very this Russian Federation Ministry of Foreign Affairs Twitter account or X account. And I found there from their picture from Jeffrey Epstein with that kind of no, with not covered properly, and together with the picture of Zelensky. And the text there was more something like that's how European and Western allies defend their children. The same politicians who want to support Ukrainian junta want to also have a good connections with this pedophile Epstein. So they are very good to use that kind of angles, and they do it permanently. And with the, actually that you mentioned Dugin, Alexander Dugin, uh, Alexander Dugin once said in his speech that he is actually counted like a ideologist of Putin sometimes, but actually he is not clearly. It's not so clear that he's ideologist of the Putin. They have some common views, but for example, Alexander Dugin said that Putin is very bad in strategical thinking. He's very good tactic, but in strategical thinking, he's very bad. So it's but there is a lot of strategical planners in Moscow who are very good on it. But Putin himself, he's better in tactical level than in strategical.
Yeah, I mentioned Alexander Dugin because he's the top propagandist with his right extremist views, and he has also, I guess, followers in all over Europe. That's what I mentioned him, and
Definitely.
there are these kind of connections as well. So you also mentioned the alternative for Germany, the AfD in your article. You said in your article, if I hope I recollected correctly, that for example, those kind of people can be a security threat when they do Moscow's bidding, so to say. Is that correct?
Let's say, uh, 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 how I put it, different political views are very okay, and it is the one sign of the democracy. However, followers of some party are might be manipulated easier than supporters of the others. It depends, of course, the supporters, and what we have seen from Germany, a lot of those parliament members or the members of the local municipality councils are asking on daily basis the questions that are counted as a favor of the Russian Federation. Maybe some of them are just that kind of this internal discussion that is um, described in forced way, and what I mean, we have we have also in Estonia we have had cases when, for example, some people are against some facility or some military exercise ground, and sometimes they are quickly counted as a supporters of the Kremlin, but they are not actually. But there are also people around those activities or around those problems who are supporters of the Kremlin activities. And it's the question for the internal security agencies, of course, to divide who are not and who are and who are not. But with the AFD, I see that a lot of their supporters, also in Eastern Germany, are seeing like unification of the Germany was like overtaking, not unification on common ground. And of course, there have been the people who lost their social position, whose families lost the position that they had during the Soviet period. Military officers then joined with the Bundeswehr, was stepped some ranks back. So it is definitely something what we have seen also as in Estonia. In our case also, not all the people didn't have a positive feeling about market economy, because during that time the life is better. And actually, one more thing, people are getting older. When they were younger, health was better, and the people sometimes count it as that their living standard is lower than before. But it's not because of the government or regime or political system, but it is because they are getting older. But some of people can't understand that this must be held separately.
Yes, it is very interesting that you mentioned these kind of biographies from former Soviet times and former GDR times. There are for sure similarities, and I guess it is also the narrative what our society or the state has. Is it still alluring? Is it still attractive? and I guess in Estonia, as I experienced it, Estonia has a very strong sense of Estonian identity, and I guess that is in comparison to Germany, um, something that is here and there lacking. That we have a similar strong German identity in some ways, and we know it that we don't have it here and there. It is maybe rooted in our own history, but this narrative is, I guess, very important. And would you say, is this kind of narrative why you need a state, or why you are happy to be in this state? Is this also one of our most vulnerable points in Germany concerning hybrid warfare, or other vulnerabilities?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's say we lost our state completely in 1941, and we got it back in 1991. So at least my generation remembers that very well, and that's why we are very keen to keep our state, to not to lose it again. However, if we look younger generation who are already born in a free country, so for them it's like it's normal situation. But those who have seen occupation time, uh, that is miracle that you should keep in everyday basis. And maybe one more thing for a background, that Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania have sometimes named former Soviet republics. We never had been we have never been Soviet republics because we were occupied. Some other countries in Soviet Union were actually are former Soviet republics, but definitely not the Baltics. So we keep it. But what I should mention about this, the proudness of the state, or the about the nation. Let's say some decades ago, it was very unpopular to talk about the basis of the nation. It was strange, of course. It have roots from the history, but also in Estonia, some political parties didn't want to talk about the nationalities because it was counted somehow like right-wing extremism immediately. But it is problem because, for example, we had refugees from Syria. Of course, not even similar numbers that they were in Germany, but even those some hundreds created a discussion in Estonia, and I officially and publicly several times said that they are welcome to live like they want, to have their habits, but they can't say for us how we should live. They are welcome to live, but they should honor our habits. And if they won't, they are not welcome. And that was what I have seen in several countries all over the Europe, that nations sometime gave up from their habits because they were like unrecognized by the newcomers. So if you are the newcomer, you should tolerate those habits that was was here before already.
I guess this point is also in the center of our debates concerning migration. I guess it's one of the core issues because we are still struggling with finding an answer to, first of all, welcome the people and also to integrate them, and then not to ignore our own identity. And this identity issue is, in my opinion, very problematic sometimes in Germany. And this is the point where we are most divided. And this division is this what makes our societies vulnerable to hybrid warfare.
Definitely, that is one aspect. Russia knows very well those pressing those points where to press, and this ethnic dividing is one of the key figure. Actually, the thing that they wanted to use and used also in Estonia and Latvia with the 30 years. And actually, we got also from the Germany, for example, pressure that that was actually came originally from Moscow, because Moscow wanted to use the Russian minority to its own goals. But for Germany, for France, for UK, it was like um, it was it wasn't understandable how state can do that, because Germany won't use its community abroad to change the government of that country. For example, Germany has a Goethe Institute. Russia created something similar, Russkiy Mir, but the Goethe Institute offered the culture. The France did the same. It was cultural and that kind of context. But for example, Russkiy Mir, that was created from the same purposes to exchange the culture. It wanted to have strong political influence. So it was the same tool that Germany and France used, but it was total different ideology. But it was very hard in Germany and France to understand that their idea is misused, because as I said, the Germany and France use it for a culture, for the language studies and so on, but not for strong political influence and manipulation of the minorities.
Are there, in your point of view, any other examples where our societies are vulnerable to these kind of manipulation or information manipulation? I mean, we all know the drone appearances, and we all know cyber attacks. Are there any other parts in our states and in our systems, in our societies, which are now vulnerable in the context of hybrid warfare?
Yeah, definitely. One key area is the airfields. They are manipulated with the drones. Ours are training facilities, industry, and military industry, and security research areas, but also journalists and politicians. And I explained that if you hear Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, during his speeches, he always mentioning that Russia is acting according to the international law. Always, he names it. And he knows that he can't convince Estonians or Latvians or Lithuanians or Poles. But there are a lot of people who believe that formula. So if foreign minister says that it is according to the international law, it should be true, because politicians in democratic countries won't do something similar. Maybe one or two have done, but not like that. And those journalists and politicians who are not familiar with the Russian mentality, they took it over and they believe it, that the Russian Federation was done something according to the international law. Our thing is that Russia denies everything. When they violated Estonian airspace, they denied it. When they entered into the one piece of Estonia, they denied it. Actually, this is a quite unique situation that between Estonia and Russian Federation is Narva River. The West Bank is Estonian and East Bank is actually also Estonian, but it was occupied after the Second World War. But in the Eastern Bank, there is a small part of Estonia. When we had a land border with Russian Federation, so this was something that most of Estonians also didn't knew. So it's a Russian side, but it's small piece of Estonian territory. But they denied it. And they always do all that kind of things. For example, if they bombed Mariupol maternity hospital, then they also said that it was military object, not maternity. This hospital, it was for military purposes. No? I don't know. Of course, there have born new Ukrainians who might become soldiers. So it's nihilistic, that kind of approach. That's what they do. And those are those dangerous fields. And maybe one thing more, that one of my colleague had a conversation with one Italian journalist, and that Italian journalist asked that what is the big problem in Donetsk? It's like a change of the local municipality government. It is not. It is something that after the local municipality government elections, all the people who voted for opposition parties will be killed. It can be compared like that. So a lot of people in EU won't understand that what happens in Ukraine is real war and crimes against humanity. And Russia knows that, and they use that in very, very brutal way.
Talking about the border incident in Estonia, I guess it was in October last year, when I remember right. I remember this picture of several guys in green uniforms, and it looked like a little green man, like those little green men that you mentioned in your article. But you said, why conquer Hiiumaa, an Estonian island, somewhere at the edge of Europe, when you immediately can destabilize the center of Europe, Germany. Then you mentioned some incident on the island of Rügen. Why Rügen?
Why not? Rügen is very good from that point of view that this is the part of the Germany, but there is water around the island, like around the most of islands is water. That means that it is a little bit isolated, so it is easier to control. And if you destabilize Rügen or Germany, you will destabilize Poland as well, because for Poland, Germany is right now ally, or like for Estonia, for Latvia, Lithuania, for all of us. And we don't in Estonia, we don't also keep in let's say military forces in the border with Latvia. So if Germany will be destabilized, huge logistical problems will appear, and also Poland should regroup their military. That means that they should move them away from the eastern part of Poland, and because of the political debates, because of the not the functioning Zeitenwende idea, and also because of the quite huge Russian community in Germany, it can be the better target than some other countries. What I should mention about that border incident in Estonia in October, actually Russians didn't enter into the Estonia during that time. Russians stayed in Russian land right now. Of course, by the Tartu Peace Treaty, that land belongs to the Estonia, but right now border is there. But they didn't enter into Estonia. And in foreign media, sometimes was mentioned that they were in the Estonian side, but no, they didn't enter into the Estonia. Yeah, it's easier to more profitable to destabilize situation in Germany for them. Yeah, and for example, I have seen the pictures and videos when Russians had auto columns in Berlin, in other places of Germany, with the Russian flags and with the different war symbols. It can't be case in Estonia. It is maybe 10 years ago when we had that kind of incident, when 9th of May we had some 25 cars in Tallinn that did something similar, but not right now. Not a single car even doesn't have this Saint George ribbon, this orange black ribbon. So, but in Northeast Estonia and in Tallinn, it was quite common among the Russians to have that kind of ribbon in your car, but not right now. Not a single car like that. So it's something that also the Russian planners are noticing.
So, in your opinion, what can German authorities learn from Estonian experience to mitigate, to reduce the threat from these kind of Russian operations or measures?
I think it's very important to be very straight that this is our country, and you can't have that kind of symbols or that kind of activities in our country. I wonder why didn't German police actually stop those cars and liquidated that kind of problem. Of course, political, not the stability, but very concrete political orientation is needed, because if some even some people from Merz party will say that let's start again a business with Russia. No, it is also something that Russia sees, and they will uh, act to use that opportunity. And also, it is very important to give aid to the Ukraine with without being afraid that it will escalate something. Russia is very good to naming that if you give, for example, those Taurus rockets to the Ukraine, it will escalate the situation. No, it won't. Leopard tanks didn't escalate anything. F-16 planes didn't escalate anything. Those different rockets that UK and France gave, or Patriot rockets, didn't escalate anything. But Russia always declared that all those steps will escalate the situation also outside from the Ukraine. So Russia makes lot of empty words, and we don't have to always debate about what was said by war criminal Putin or alcoholic Medvedev.
Yeah. So you say we have to show the strength, and we have to show them that we stand also by our words. And one thing to do that, I think we're already trying to do it, or we are in the way to do it, is that we really strengthen our parts in NATO. For example, with the brigade in Lithuania, with our soldiers. First time that German soldiers are permanently, I mean, definitely permanently abroad. It's a very new concept for us. And on the other hand, we strengthen our system, not militarily, but also civil defense system with Heimatschutz, like home defense measures, with the military, and also in cooperation with all the other authorities, like police, etc., and also with our reservists, with the Bundeswehr reservists, and this way that we say, okay, we know that we have a critical logistical hub, and we are ready to defend this. This is also a sign, and I guess that is also very important for our allies.
Absolutely. Things in Germany are moving in a very good direction from Estonian point of view. And a lot of allies that boots on the ground in Lithuania is very good thing that that was decided. I'm sure that Germany itself will have a lot of experience from that acting. Also, this, as I mentioned, this Zeitenwende was very good initiative. A budget of the Bundeswehr is increasing. It's also a very good direction. and a lot of other things. However, what I see that Russian planners will notice is things that I described in my article. So it's I didn't name all the good things. Sorry about that, but my idea was to bring the light also for those activities, because what Russia did in Crimea, like action of the hybrid warfare. A lot of military planners in all over the Europe after that said that there won't be conventional war anymore. All the war activities in the future will look like occupation of the Crimea. It wasn't the case because we see conventional war in Ukraine right now, and Russia always wants to surprise its enemy. So if they will do the next move, it won't be, from my understanding at least, little territory occupation somewhere near to the border.
So in your article, you described also the indecisiveness of German politics concerning conscription. Can you also elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, I was surprised actually that this conscription service wasn't created, because I believe that there is a lot of or enough political will to do that. I'm sure that in current world actually it is necessary, because how to say, in Estonia, we had also a lot of discussions that should we also liquidate our conscript service. We never liquidated it, and we are in very good position because of that. It is way you can have big army with a low cost. So professional army is very good, of course, and states have some parts of professional armies as well. But in nowadays world, to keep huge armies in daily basis is too expensive for all the countries, and it's not necessary as well, because if you have trained personnel, they don't have to be in казarms in every daily basis. They should give a lot of effort to the economy, and if there is a need, you will mobilize them. So I hope this will be decided.
Yeah, I hope so too, because I think this let's say, okay, we need a stronger army in Germany. Sorry. We need a stronger army in Germany on the one hand, and on the other hand, or we are not sure if we can really do this step. It's kind of halfway, and I think this is also something that Putin would notice. That's another point what we've discussed earlier, to pressure, I guess.
Let's say what I see that Russian planners will notice. Germany is biggest economical power in Europe, definitely. But Germany is afraid to be biggest military power in Europe. So let's do everything that they will still afraid that. And this is very important for them that that Germany won't rise as a military power that can offer security all over the Europe. They are afraid of that, and they will do anything to avoid that.
I guess that is a good conclusion to our interview.
Okay. Thank you very much.